I am coming out of a 2-month reading slump, so for September I have built up quite the TBR because I definitely have some time to make up for. The first book on our September TBR is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I actually started this book in, I think, October or November of last year, and I just never finished it. Not because I wasn't enjoying it, I just got distracted by, I think, another series. But because we're going back into fall, I feel like it's the perfect time to start reading this again. The second book that we have is Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. This one is kind of more of a nature-based science fiction. Typically the ones that I read tend to kind of like happen in space. This one does not. This one is just about kind of like nature taking over, and there's like an Area X that anyone who goes into it ends up getting sick and things like that. So very different from any other sci-fi that I've ever read, so it makes me a little nervous, but also I'm excited. And then our third book is The Thousandth Floor, which I have the hardest time saying. This one I picked up very much on a whim from Barnes & Noble a few months ago. It takes place in Manhattan in the year 2118, so a little bit in the future. And I think it's basically about just a few different individuals that live in this building and kind of like their lives. And then another read that I have that I think fits very well with kind of like going into fall is Small Game by Blair Braverman. This one says it's about a survival reality show gone wrong that leaves a group of strangers stranded in the northern wilds. I love a Stranded in the Wild book. Like Hatchet was one of my favorite books as a kid, so this one feels kind of like an adult version of that. And then another book that I really hope to get to this month is The Zodiac Academy. I have been wanting to read the series for the longest time, like literally the past 2 years, and I finally actually purchased the first book hoping it would kind of like push me to finally start it, and it's still been months since I bought this. And then also every month in my TBR jar videos I spin a Kindle wheel, and it landed on Somewhere We Belong, which is a small town why choose romance, which I cannot wait to start. I love a small town romance. I love a why choose, and I don't know why, but like I never thought of those two things being together. And then also my book club book, we definitely cannot forget about that. The book that won the poll for September was The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is one that's been in the back of my mind since it came out, so I'm excited to kind of finally give it a shot. And also I do feel like this is, again, kind of like perfect timing because it is a cozy fantasy, and going into the cooler months is definitely when I read cozy books. And then last but certainly not least, we have a couple of just like extras that I'm really kind of just crossing my fingers hoping to get to. I have a video, like a YouTube video idea for these, so I want to get to them, but I'm also very aware that I am coming off of a slump, and this is a lot of books to put on my plate. These are just kind of hopeful, but we do have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I've had this one on my TBR, my physical TBR, for a very long time, and I feel like I just need to get to it. And then we have Raising Hair by Chloe Dalton. I just talked about this one recently. This one is about a woman who rehabilitates a baby hare after like a dog attacked it or something like that. It basically becomes her like wild rabbit friend, and it sounds like the sweetest thing on the planet. Hopefully I get to all of these books this month, but we'll see.